Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the Audio Levels channel and welcome back to another review. And this one, I have to say, is going to be one of the bigger ones of the year. I am not known for hyping stuff, but I sure as hell am going to do that with this. This is the third time I've recorded this video, so I hope it's the last time. A lot of effort goes into this, a lot of comparisons I do. I do a lot of A-Bing, volume matching, that sort of stuff. And this has been a pain in the backside getting this review together, but I wanted to be sure about what I'm saying about this one because I haven't. This is the best earphone I've heard all year. This is the ThieAudio Monarch 2 and it's the best earphone I've heard all year, and that's a year where I have picked up the IEMS 2 Mark 2 as well, and this thing right now is unbelievable. Let's get into it in a second. First of all, welcome back to the channel. It has been about 10 or so days since I uploaded, and I've been getting a lot of messages from you guys just asking if I'm okay or when I'm coming back, when there'll be new videos. Well, there is going to be new videos all the way to early mid-December when I have to catch a flight back home. Those who watch the channel for a long time know that I've been displaced for a long time with COVID, and I'm eventually getting to go home to see my family for the first time in 2 years. So I'm super excited about that, and with that came a lot of work. Those who know that this is not my job in any way, shape or form. This is not my job. This is a hobby, and this is something that I really enjoy doing, but I had to get work out of the way first so I could go back to doing the reviews. So I've got a lot of work that I had to do in the lead up to Christmas, and I've got that out of the way now, so it's going to be all about audio right until the end. So yeah, videos coming up. Tons and tons of stuff. I have the NiceHick DB1, I have the TRN TA2, I have AudioSense DT200, Shanling M6 Pro 2021 something edition, FiO FD7, iBasel DX300, I own X5S, I have these little Tripone headphones as well. I have tons of stuff that I need to get through in the next couple of weeks, so every day for the next couple of weeks there's going to be a video. There's also going to be videos on the Black Friday and Cyber Monday, as well as Christmas deal videos. I'm going to try and do Christmas deal videos once a week, but from Thursday this week, the day before Black Friday, I'm going to post videos about the deals that I can find. I've been price checking Amazon, AliExpress, Linso, Hi-Fi Go, wherever, just to try and find Best Buy and stuff like that, to try and find audio deals. And some of these are going to be available globally and some will be available just to the US, but keep your eyes out for those videos or subscribe specifically for those videos if you want to see what I can find with X amount of money off, and you can maybe save some money, because I know the 11/11 videos that I did with the sales videos were very popular. Now, the other final piece is if you want to see direct comparisons, so there will be a comparison video using these. Of course there will be, all the ones that I really recommend I'll do direct comparisons with. So I'm thinking I'm going to throw in the Solaris 2020, and I'm going to do the BESaudioreview Mark II or the BESaudioreview 2. Is there anything else you guys would like to see it compared to? Obviously, I'm going to talk about the original Monarch in this review, but we can go ahead and safely assume that I don't even have them anymore. The $1,099 Mezi Rye Pentas are well and truly horrible value at this point. If these are $999, Rye Pentas $1,099. Put your price down $300 because the TRIBRIDs are here. TRIBRIDs, getting into this review, so ThieAudio Monarch Mk2 is the successor to the highly successful ThieAudio Monarch, one of the most successful earphones, one that is highly praised in the chi-fi market for being one of the best TRIBRID earphones that you can buy. TRIBRID, of course, the combination of 3 different driver technologies, typically dynamic driver, balanced armature, and EST to create sound that is beneficial in each of its spectrums or its frequencies. So lows is handled by dynamic drivers, mids is handled by balanced armatures, and highs are managed by electrostatic. So you're getting the best of each driver technology in its respective frequencies. The Monarchs were considered one of the best, if not the best, of the technology. It retailed for $730, and this one is going up, big time up. It's $270 more expensive. This is $999 at retail, recommended retail price from Linsol. I'll leave links to everything I talk about in the description below in this video, because there's going to be a lot, but this is $999, so go and check it out, and check out some of the other stuff they've got. I don't know if they've got Black Friday deals coming out, but keep an eye on that. Maybe keep a tab open on your browser to this page, because if you get anything off this, I don't think they will do it. I'm 99.99% certain they will not do a sale on this, but if they do anything like that, it's, geez, what an earphone. Now, let's talk about the packaging. Let's get the packaging out of the way, because the packaging is pretty pathetic. This is a $1,000 earphone. The Kinera Skull that I have there have a gorgeous box, nice theme and presentation. The ThieAudio, I always considered pretty reasonably decent value, but then I started seeing the Fearless audio boxes for the new Province Tequila and stuff like that, or what's this, the Province. It's just the same box. It's a cheap, generic box that they're using across the ranges. On the inside, you get the carry case, which is over here. It sits in the bottom, earphones sit in the top, and then you get a really cheap, nasty little cable tie. I wish that would have been like some nice high quality, what is it, Porween leather or something like that, I don't know. Just something to add a little bit of class to it, because these earphones deserve it. The carry case as well is just a generic carry case with the audio printed on it, but it is nice and big, so I can get the earphones in there. I can get the Hi-Fi Go Blue, which has been my main listening thing at night for the past week. In terms of tips, you get some Comply style foam tips, which are not very good and do affect the sound in a negative way. I found it doesn't give us pleasing results. It thins out the sound. They give you these tips as the included out the box rubber tips, and that's all you get in the way of tips. It's pretty disappointing, pretty sparse. The thing is that the earphones themselves have a very wide bore on them, and thus they require a wide bore tip. So I've been struggling to get the same sound quality that I get with the stock silicone tips as I have been getting with, say for example, the Kinera Skull that I use with the Aztec or Aztec or something, the rubbery tips. I would like to use those tips, but I find them very hard to get on, and it tightens up the bass a little bit too much. So beware of that. Now, all that aside, that's really unimpressive. Unimpressive box, unimpressive accessories, especially at $999. I want them to do better. But then you get into the cable, and to discuss the cable, I need to discuss something that I'd said to Linsol a while back. And I'd said, they'd sent me a set of nice HKA earphones, and it came with this cable. And I specifically said, I was like, I don't really care about the earphones. I was like, this cable needs to be sold separately. This is the best cable I've used all year. I'm in love with this cable. And Linsol listened to people, like, you know, Linsol listened to the reviewers. They've listened to me on cables, and they've changed it before in the past. I don't know if they specifically did this or it was just pure coincidence, but this cable is so good. It's essentially the exact same cable bar a small point and a changing colour. Not even a small point, because what you're about to see is them taking the best sort of styled and built cable. Like, I've just really enjoyed that cable, and people who know this channel know that I'm crazy about cables. The other cable that I consider very good, but I actually prefer this one in terms of performance, is the Duna Hulk Pro. The Hulk Pro had this innovative system when it came out, and I believe Kinera have their own system now as well. But ThieAudio are at it as well, and they've come up with their system. And by all argument's sake, with this cable and this connector system, which is extremely robust, I think I prefer this overall than the Hulk. This is $89. I've just seen that they're selling this cable alone for $89. This is $350. So I'm leaving a link to this cable in the description below as well. because this is really, really good. There's only one caveat, which I'll talk about in a second. Now, what's the benefit of this cable? Well, it's, let's say for example, I'm using the iFi Gold Blue, which has a balanced connector on top, and I put in the 4.4mm balanced. But then I go to my little DAP here, which is I think it was the Jinlin or something, the Jinlin something. It's got a crazy interchangeable amp system on the back of it. It's a crazy, crazy DAP. But it does not have a balanced 4.4, it has a balanced 2.5mm. So all I do with this cable is just pop it off, and you can see the pin connectors on the inside there, male and female. And then I grab, that's the 3.5, there's the 2.5mm balanced. I go ahead, spin it around, it clicks into place, it's rock solid, and I just pop it straight into the bottom of my player. So the big advantage for me as somebody that has a lot of DAPs and DACs sitting about, and I change stuff constantly, is that I'm not needing to change anymore at the point of contact with the earphones. It's fine for me to break a cable, but it's not fine for me to damage the earphones. So by able to change the connectors at this side instead of changing the whole cable, that's just absolutely fantastic for me. Now, let's get into the earphones. Oh, let's do the cable test first. So I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to see how it performs in terms of behaving itself. And this cable doesn't tangle, and it just sits perfectly. Love it. Now, earphones themselves, you can probably see they look pretty good from there. I'm going to bring it in nice and close, and this is not going to do justice. Hold it steady for a second and try and catch the light. This is gorgeous. This is one of the most beautiful faceplates that I've ever seen. The other one being the Canera Scald. But I think this takes it. Guys, this is spectacular, and it doesn't show the depth that I'm seeing on the camera. I'm looking at it through the monitor right now. You can see the depth of the resin there. It actually, if I grab this one, this earpiece here, these more silver bits are actually trenched and carved into like this sort of burnt copper or something with the resin filled over the top. It's a spectacular looking earphone. But as spectacular as the faceplate may be, this is the Excalibur, and it's essentially the same sort of resin shell. If I hold them both up, it's the same material, and albeit the Excalibur's a little bit smaller, it's the same design that you find on $500 earphones. It's not like something, let's take the Campfire Audio Dorado 2020, which is made out of, I believe, some sort of ceramic. So, you know, it is gorgeous to look at, and it's very well made, but you can find resin earphones all the way down to $150. Now, size-wise, it is a chunky monkey. It's a big earphone. Dorado 2020, about $1,200, and this at $1,000. You can see it's just a way, way, way bigger earphone in all dimensions. So for that reason, I would say if you are somebody that has small ears, do not buy these earphones. They also have a very shallow, medium shallow depth insertion. If I again grab the Canera Scald, you can see that the protrusion is quite long there, and it allows for people with smaller ears to still get a decent seal, a decent depth. This earphone will block off your outer ears before it hits sufficient depth for optimum sound. Just something to think about. So it is a chunky earphone. If you get medium or large ears, you should be absolutely fine. I'm medium eared, don't have a problem. It's a snug fit, but it's a nice fit. Now, sound quality. Tested with all of these DAPs, plus the iBasso DX300. Also tested with Owen and of course my O2 DAC amp, which I use for reference. And I've been using for years and years and years as a balance point for testing every single piece of equipment. I've also done individual comparisons myself between these and the original ThieAudio Monarch, which unfortunately I've got at the house and not at the office. The original Monarch are, as I said at the start of this review, are considered one of the best value purchases in the audiophile world. It is something that punches above its price, And that's saying something for an earphone that's $730, but a lot of people consider that for $730 you're getting an earphone that competes with $1,000 plus earphones. You know, myself personally, I could listen to a Monarch easily over an original Campfire Audio Andromeda. I could listen to it easily over a Shure SE846. So that's going to bring in one of the most important points that I'm going to talk about with these earphones. These are $1,000. So going up $270, what are you getting? Let's talk about that at the end. Let's talk about the sound. The sound is phenomenal. As I said right at the start, it is one of the best sounding earphones I've heard this year by some margin. There's a few that I've heard that wowed me. IEMS Mark II, I'm putting it in there, and I didn't get it this year, but the Sony IR1ZR or Z1R, I get confused because I have the headphones and the earphones. Both of them, I would say the Z1R are very, very, very special, but they are so bloody uncomfortable. It's ridiculous. I'm selling them. As soon as I get back home, I'm going to sell them because I just don't enjoy using them. And people joke about taking sound over comfort. I couldn't care less. I need to listen to my earphones for like 8 hours a day, so why am I going to wear something uncomfortable just for the sacrifice of sound quality? And it's not much of a difference in sound quality against some of the other earphones I have. This sounds mind-blowing in terms of the atmosphere it creates, the environment it creates to listen to music. The natural presentation and the tonality of it is just exceptional for vocals, live music, stuff that is just, I found myself over the past few days, not even with one of the really fancy amps, but just with the iFi Go Blue, sitting in bed at night, just going from one song to another song to another song. I found myself listening to Nirvana Nevermind, the whole album again last night, and it has been so long since I've listened to that album because I just sort of lost it. But I found a remastered version from 2020 on Tidal, and at the start of Come As You Are, when Kurt starts singing, that is just, it's as good as I've ever heard it in an earphone. You go into things like Rihanna Giddens, Carolina Chocolate Drops, live performances and stuff. Her voice is amazing. Io, Down on My Knees, amazing. Gregory Porter, Concord, just the gravity and weight in his voice, the performance is fantastic. The clarity along the mid-range from instrument separation, guitars, drums, piano, whatever you're throwing at it, it sounds so distinct and so precise, but so together in this perfectly blended soup of sound that it is slightly warm, it's super engaging. I can't come up with enough superlatives to describe how good this earphone sounds in person. I am mind-blown because I was falling away with TRIBRIDs. I was sort of drifting back towards all balanced armatures with the Canara Skull. This is just, I mean, I listen to the Balder 2 and I consider that fantastic for specific types of music, but in terms of this, the Monarch MK2, just, it's very, very hard to describe the beauty and the sound that you're hearing from it. It is just so well put together and well tuned, and for me it is flawless. It really is flawless in terms of tuning and presentation, the way I like to listen to music. Now, if we go from the certain frequencies, if we talk about bass first, let's start with bass, sub-bass. Sub-bass is extremely strong when it needs to be. It can be considered a bass-headed earphone. The original Monarch had a very aggressive bass on it when it needed to be. That has been tamed down somewhat. If you go back and forth with the two models, you will find that this is far more refined in the bass, but it still has an ability to hit very, very hard when it needs to. And I'm going to touch back on that in a second. In terms of mid-bass response, my God, the response that I was getting from double bass on jazz music, it's just the reverberation and decay right throughout, not even just the decay on the bass, but the decay on the like a triangle just drifting off into the background. It sounds like such a grand and expansive listening experience that when a triangle gets hit, it just dissolves into the background, and it does that with The double bass where it sort of hangs in the air for a second before dissipating. Beautiful presentation there. Sweet blend into the mid-range. A very smooth progression into the mid-range. There's no jarring like separation that you had with it. The Monarch was criticised often for having this disjointed crossover point where it went from the dynamic driver to the balanced armature. This is smoothed right out, and it is beautiful. Male vocals, super weighty, heavy, Everlast, Black Jesus, just the gravel and the grain in the voice. But then you go up to something like Deering Grey, the final, and you're listening to the screaming, the high-pitched scratchiness of the voice, and it's super clear, and it's just very distinct. And female vocals, again, I go into IO, Down on Your Knees, where she can go from very high-pitched to very low depth. It's beautiful. It's beautiful the way it presents male and female vocals. I can't find any faults in it. Guitars, separation, detail retrieval. The Rodrigo and Gabriela Tamakun, you can hear the fret slides clear as day. You can hear the fret slides. You can hear the dampening of the strings on Ludovici and Naudi's live performances, live at the Albert Hall. You can hear it actually when he presses the piano dampener, and you can hear the dampener touch the string. It's ultra revealing, like really nice. And then you come to treble. And treble, although I'm somebody that likes treble, I like treble in a specific earphone. You know, when I'm going to listen to more treble heavy music, I pull out something like the Canera Skuld or other earphones in my collection that are perhaps a little bit better suited to that, maybe a Holocene or something, a little bit more flat response. This has amazingly smooth treble, but it's very, let's say it's crystal clear with zero sibilance and not much sparkle. Now that's not to say it doesn't have treble, because the treble is crystal clear. It is right there, you can hear it, but it doesn't get close to that that over sparkliness. It just doesn't. It presents itself in a way that is right there, and you can hear every detail from it, but it's not overly forced on you. It's as non-fatiguing as I've heard recently in a high-end earphone. There's no overemphasis. It's fantastically well done. It is just bang on the sweet spot for treble for me. Bang on it. As I said, soundstage, it has big soundstage width and depth, all relevant to being an earphone, of course, but it has width and depth. It's amazing in terms of atmosphere. The atmosphere it creates is a sense of realism. When everything works together, it is just such a realistic sounding earphone that it sounds like, you know how the thing with live music is that you're trying to recreate this experience of being right there. And sitting in my bed at night and listening to some songs before I go to bed, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm in a club, and I don't really get that unless I'm listening to something like my Dali Lectors, not even my Magipans, like my full-size speakers can't recreate that. The Dali Lectors can, and maybe my Focal Utopia give me that sort of sense. But in an earphone, this is as close as I've got to that, other than the Sony IERs. It's fantastic. Honest, guys, I don't hype a lot of stuff, and I'm not hyping this because we're going to talk about money. I'm going to say that this is an option at this price point. So with the sound out of the way, let's talk about the price point. Now, as I said before I started the sound, and I'm sorry I cut off that section, but I wanted to leave it to the end, $270 is a massive jump up for what is essentially a very similar driver configuration. And I don't know if they've used the exact same drivers. I know they've messed with the crossover. I know that they've changed the cable, and I know that they've changed the faceplate. Let's see what you're getting extra for that money. Okay, you're getting a $90 cable. So you're going to take up to 830. You're getting a nicer designed faceplate. So factor in whatever you want for that, and you're getting improved sound. Is it worth it? Absolutely, because it's just not as good value as before. When we were talking about the original Monarch's pricing, the original Monarch's pricing was considered by many, and myself included, to compete with $1,000+ earphones. So it's things like the Shure SE846 are still up for sale, things like Western W80, you know, a lot of the higher end earphones that this is going up against are no better than it. It falls into, when you get up to a certain level with earphones, in my opinion, it's when somebody says, I don't like this, I don't like that, 99.999% of the time, those people don't have the reference points where I can listen to a million different things and decide what's really going on to my ears is tuning preferences. If I was looking at this earphone from the standpoint of a Etymotic ER4 studio response earphone, what would I make of this? I would think this sounds terrible. If I'm coming from something a little bit more treble happy, like the Kinera Balder 2, I'm going to think that the treble is not as sharp from coming from the Zens Up, the Mangrid Zens Up, and I have all these earphones I'm talking about, the Mangrid Zens Up, but like I'm going to feel like the bass doesn't hit as hard. It's tuning preferences at a certain point, and I put this earphone now in with the IEMS, the Campfire Audio Solaris 2020, the Campfire Audio Vega, let's throw the Vega in, why not, because the Vega is a bass head earphone, but the Dorado 2020, Andromedas, IEMS, Layla, lots of earphones, Cosmic ears, Empire ears that I've got. All those earphones, I just put them in a giant pile. They're all relevant. They can all have their cases made for them. This one comes in at $999. Let's take something else. BESaudioreview Rai Penta is $1,099. It's not even close, guys. It's not even close. If we take this from the original Monarch, is it better? Yes, side by side, it is better sounding, and it's better cable. Not by much, you know. Difference in sound, law of diminishing returns. You got to be realistic. You know, how much better are you getting? But I think you get to a certain point where if somebody can't enjoy listening to this earphone, I think there's something wrong with them. This is so good to listen to. I really, really, really enjoy it. So that's going to be it for this review. I think it is so far the best earphone of the year in terms of price and performance. I'm going to do the comparison video in the coming days, so please, in the description below or in the comments below, go ahead and leave comments asking specifically what you want to see this compared to that I have listened to. I'm not going to talk about stuff that I've never listened to. Anything you see here, anything you see on the channel, I'll bring it out, I'll listen to it, I'll do a direct comparison for you, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what's good value, what's a cheaper alternative with the same sort of tuning, etc., etc. I really, really enjoy the comparison videos. They're actually my favourite to do on the channel. As I say, leading into Christmas, we're going to do lots of deals, videos and stuff like that to help you try and find good deals. Plus, in the next week or two, I'm going to be releasing all the videos on my gear of the year, my setup of the year, and we're going to do a shootout between all my setups, cable combinations with different earphones, and we're going to do a big shootout to see who is the king of the year, or the number one setup, DAP, cable, earphones, that sort of stuff. A little bit of fun. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm sorry this is such a long video. I will timestamp this one as best as I can. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate you guys and everybody that reached out to just make sure that I was okay. I'm absolutely fine, guys. I'm just getting ready to go home and see my family for the first time in a couple of years. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video tomorrow. Peace, guys.